1. Loneliness is a wonderful thing. When you truly come back to yourself, you realize that loneliness is incredibly wonderful. It is in deep solitude that the heart opens up to boundless compassion, joy, and release. A student once asked Zen Master Vienne Min, "Respected teacher, why do I feel unbearably lonely after losing a close friend? We used to be so in sync, but things changed when I began to share my spiritual journey, leading to differences in opinion. Since then, I've lost that close friend. Is there a divide between life's path and the spiritual path?" Zen Master Vienne Min replied, "Life and spirituality share the same existence but follow different directions. Like a river where boats can go upstream or downstream, the spiritual path is considered countercurrent, moving against the flow of worldly life." Lao Tzu said, "Learning adds every day, following the way subtracts every day." In life, the more you have, the more you want, losing one thing to gain another, so you are never fully satisfied. In spirituality, you continuously let go until there is nothing left to shed, and not having anything becomes inconsequential. These paths are indeed very different. In life, almost everyone needs social relationships like family, spouses, friends, clubs, and community groups, because people naturally seek others who resonate and align with them, especially true friends who understand each other deeply. However, it's hard to find someone who will always align with you throughout your life, so inevitably, paths diverge, especially when the paths of life and spirituality diverge. Confucianism teaches that while our innate natures may be close, our cultivated habits grow us apart, like trees that share the same roots but branch out in different directions. When a close friend suddenly changes paths, the loneliness can be unbearable, leading us to seek new relationships in life. Though loneliness can be seen as a misfortune, in spirituality, it is an essential condition to return to silence and explore oneself. It is through a narrow door that one enters the realm of the divine. Hence the Lord said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me," meaning that not returning to oneself, not living true to the spiritual path, one cannot grasp the ultimate truth, which is to know oneself. Therefore, loneliness truly is a miracle, at least in enduring the hardships, ups and downs, and misfortunes of life alone, without complaining or seeking comfort. It is these hardships that strengthen us, just as the murky and smelly mud helps the lotus bloom beautifully. When you truly return to yourself, you'll see that loneliness is wonderful because when you are utterly alone, your heart opens up to boundless compassion, joy, and release, whereas seeking support from close friends can bind you to narrow relationships, making you vulnerable. That is why losing such a friendship can feel so hollow and painful. The Buddha enlightened many, but he never wanted anyone to depend on him, nor did he depend on anyone. This profound ability is something only those who experience true solitude can understand. 2. Who truly excels by being alone? Embracing and enjoying solitude is a wise intellectual state. One must first be in harmony with oneself before learning how to coexist with others. Zhuangzi once said, "Only those who know how to be alone become truly distinguished and are esteemed." Here, being alone refers to being free and at ease with oneself, self-harmonizing and self-improvement. It's essentially about learning how to live with oneself. It's important to realize that from a young age, we are taught many principles about how to live with others, integrate into society, and excel within the community. However, we often overlook a fundamental truth. Our biggest enemy in life is ourselves. If someone can conquer themselves and learn to live with themselves, then they can overcome anything. 3. Loneliness is inevitable. Zhuangzi had a rival named Hui Shi, and they often engaged in spontaneous debates. There were many times when Hui Shi was left speechless by Zhuangzi's arguments, notably during the discussion on how do you know the joy of fish if you are not a fish. After Hui Shi's death, Zhuangzi recounted a fable about the loneliness of losing a close intellectual companion. A man had a black spot like a mole on his nose and sought a stonecutter to remove it. With a calm hand, the stonecutter swung his axe and deftly removed the spot without scratching the man's nose. When General Tong Yuan heard of this, he summoned the stonecutter to demonstrate his skill. However, the stonecutter refused. When asked why, he replied, "In the past, I could remain calm to do such a thing, but now I cannot because my lifelong companion has died." Like the poets Du Fu and Li Bai, who admired each other's talents and explored the world together, thinking they would always be companions. However, my heart is with the mountains, yours is with the waters. When their goals diverged, they had to say goodbye and go their separate ways. Clearly, over the long course of a lifetime, no one can stay with us forever. Indeed, being alone is the eternal state of human existence, as the two most important moments in life, birth and death, are journeys we must undertake alone. Thus, what we must do is learn to cope with loneliness and strive to live better with ourselves every day. 4. Valuing solitude. In The Great Master by Zhuangzi, he wrote about two stubborn fish trying to keep each other wet in a drying pond to survive. Zhuangzi suggested that, instead of struggling to get by like that, it's better to let go and move to a place with vast seas and long rivers to start anew. In life, if you have the chance to journey with a fellow traveler for a month, a year, or 10 years, that's a stroke of luck. But ultimately, only you can complete your own journey. You must take charge of your own life first, then you can live well. Einstein said, "Great minds are often faced with severe criticism from those of mediocre intelligence." A person with dreams who acts to turn these dreams into reality and possesses both the capacity and greatness to outperform others must dare to be different. They step out from the majority who plod through daily life with trivial dreams like fame, status, fancy houses, degrees, relationships, or fine drinks. The majority are too busy trapping themselves in petty worries, fearing that success is a limited resource that must be fought and trampled over to obtain. Unlike them, a person with a great mind sees the truth that being different means being alone, but it also means being free. Here, talent leads to deserved prosperity. A wise person won't bother with the petty gossip of others. They spend their time creating and innovating, not wasting effort explaining their reasons to the inexperienced and mediocre. They are accustomed to unique thinking, lonely but valuable. Their success comes from their abilities, not from the opinions or views of the world. 5. Embracing solitude as a form of wisdom. According to the wisdom of Zhuangzi, the main purpose of a person's life is to find oneself and one's own path. It's likely that along this journey everyone feels lonely at times, but accepting solitude is the beginning of a fulfilling life. If you can't be at peace with yourself, you will never be able to truly connect with others. As the German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "Only when a person is alone can he truly be himself." If someone does not love solitude, then he does not love freedom, because only when one is alone is he truly free. We can travel the world with companions, but we must walk to the horizon alone. Enjoying solitude is a gentle and pleasant joy, not tied to material things or personal interests, nor swayed by ambition or desires. It comes from within, with an open heart, calmness, and self-control. Embracing solitude is also a sign of inner strength. As we go through life, We can enjoy the pace of quick experiences or take the time to appreciate the scenery around us without being blinded by fame or deceived by falsehoods. This is the courage of those who are humble, gracious, yet wise and intelligent. Being a follower can be dull, but the cost of being a leader is solitude. Similarly, if you want to blend in, be like the grass. If you want to stand tall like an old tree, you must accept loneliness. 6. Why smart people often choose solitude. Instead of saying that smart people are often lonely, think of it as smart people choosing solitude. After a busy day or week, how someone spends their evenings and weekends reveals a lot about them. Many people enjoy lively places, going shopping, hitting bars, chatting online, or meeting up with friends for food and conversation. However, there are those who aren't concerned with what's happening outside and choose to retreat to a quiet corner to struggle in their own world. Have you ever looked at yourself and realized you're one of these people? In life, smart individuals usually prefer being alone. This is why they are often labeled as lonely. Of course, everyone has their own way of living. This is not a criterion to judge whether someone is exceptional and smart or not. But being alone is a state that these individuals actively choose. They are ready to escape the noisy crowds, avoid worthless relationships, and maintain a serene mind to pursue their personal goals. From one perspective, solitude is also a destination that their souls continually seek. Why do smart people behave this way? According to psychological research, the following conclusions have been drawn. 1. Smart people deeply feel that it is lonely at the top, and it's just that others cannot understand. They realize that there can only be one truly talented person in a crowd, and it's difficult for two strong individuals to coexist without fierce competition. Smart people who dislike conflict often avoid these situations because even winning can lead to being ostracized. Choosing to be alone is also a way to reduce these meaningless conflicts. 2. Being alone and lonely brings freedom. It must be acknowledged, most social relationships are pointless, ultimately just a group of seemingly happy people gathering, but in reality, all are trying to dispel their own gloom and emptiness. Spending too much time in this kind of socializing can bind one's time and mental world. Therefore, smart people let go of this chain and face themselves freely, spending most of their time in their own company. 3. Not worried about missing out. Smart people never follow the crowd, don't like to engage in meaningless conversations, and don't care about worldly oddities or gossip of all sorts. They focus on what they believe is right and refine what they find valuable. Therefore, they are never afraid of missing out because they have let go of a part of society. 4. They possess a strong observational ability. You might find these individuals sitting quietly in a corner, simply observing everything around them. While they may not express themselves verbally, their brains are actively working to assess every situation in life and the expressions of others around them. 5. Dislike for drama. They know that life's events can bring unnecessary stress and irritation. Living for themselves is already challenging enough, so there's no need to invite more trouble. Others may think what they want. Smart people find it completely unnecessary to seek everyone's approval or get involved in needless drama. 6. No need to prove their worth. When someone is independent and strong, they appreciate the small things in life and are content with the present. They can support themselves, rely on no one else, and do not need to prove their worth to anyone. 7. Careful communication and knowing who their real friends are. Smart people maintain relationships they value and are not quick to let new people into their circle unless they share similar values and visions. 8. The abilities of smart people can intimidate others. Exceptional individuals often go about alone because they truly can manage on their own, whether it's visiting a doctor or dining out. Activities many consider should not be done solo. They are not afraid to speak the truth and don't fear when others feel challenged or inconvenienced. 9. Thinking and behavior that are often hard to understand. Most geniuses are seen as eccentric, engaging in actions and behaviors that are difficult to comprehend and sometimes shunned by society for being too peculiar. Differences in perception and the limits of conventional experience mean very few people can truly understand and accept them. 10. Focused on personal goals. Dreams and future prospects can become a joke when shared with those who do not understand them. Thus, aimless and purposeless social interactions do not exist in their world. People might think they look stressed, but in reality, they are just focused on their goals. Ultimately, smart people do not need to adapt to changes in this era through social interactions. Some are predestined to be lonely their whole lives, but this isn't sad because it might be their path to greatness. Instead of saying smart people are often lonely, think of it as smart people choosing solitude. So, if you have just a few friends, enjoy walking alone, live happily on your own, and feel fine with all that, perhaps you are not so ordinary after all. 7.5 Great Experiences. Only lonely people have. Many people think that being alone means being lonely, isolated from society, and somewhat odd. However, did you know that those who live alone are often the most free and talented? Sometimes, even in a crowd, we may feel lost and alone, as if something is missing. In those moments, the desire to be alone, to listen to music, read a book, or even take a deep sleep can feel like true happiness compared to the chaos of the crowd. This doesn't mean that you're an odd person. Life is diverse, and many people experience these feelings. From a certain perspective, it might even seem like a special blessing. Here are 5 fantastic benefits of enjoying solitude that not everyone realizes. 1. Joy from within. People who enjoy lively settings often find happiness at parties and social gatherings, feeling fulfilled through interactions. Even a simple meal with friends can bring them joy, as they value the external world's influence on their inner emotions. However, those who are introspective prefer being alone, exploring their inner selves. This isn't an odd trait. Rather, they focus on their inner and spiritual worlds. A warm hug from a loved one can fill them with overwhelming happiness. Don't think their lives are dull. Their souls are filled with love and purity. Almost everyone seeks motivation that inspires them to live happily. But can external factors truly provide lasting happiness? People who enjoy solitude look inward for joy. They spend time connecting with their inner selves, which helps them adapt and balance in any situation. When the inner self is balanced, external influences are merely fleeting. 2. Focus on personal growth. In both work and life, they don't want to be just entertainers or people pleasers. They make the most of their time. Thus, they engage in conversations that stimulate growth, expand thinking, and offer interesting experiences. Their main goal is to fully realize their potential. Those who enjoy solitude willingly spend a lot of time alone, contemplating issues that matter to them. From their perspective, human existence and progress depend on thoughtful reasoning, which makes people better. In their world, excessive social interaction isn't necessary. They enjoy doing things on their own, discovering new things by themselves, and they prefer listening more than talking. And as the saying goes, with a good friend, 1,000 drinks are too few. With bad company, half a word is too much. Listening to others can expand their thinking and help them continue to grow. 3. Deep communication skills. People who enjoy bustling environments often have many friends, but these relationships can be superficial. In contrast, those who like solitude tend to think deeply and carefully, and they have a unique, profound, and nuanced perspective on friendships, often building long-lasting relationships. Since they spend a lot of time understanding themselves, reading others' thoughts comes easily to them. Sometimes they even understand people better than those people understand themselves. Also, because they are good listeners and thoughtful when others interact with them, they feel valued. Not only that, but they can also offer insightful ideas. Thus, without needing to ask much, they know a lot about others and can captivate them with deep, impressive conversations, earning admiration and respect from those around them. 4. Self-reflection. People who spend too much time socializing often lack the time to reflect on their own faults and to introspect. Those who prefer solitude, however, have plenty of time to look inward. Self-reflection is a valuable quality that allows us to continuously improve and understand ourselves better. When one understands oneself, few things can disturb their peace of mind. Therefore, their inner world is clear and calm. From their perspective, this is the most practical and happiest way to live. If you enjoy a bustling life but sometimes feel empty, try spending some time in self-reflection. You might discover the deep-seated joy you've been overlooking. 5. Very intelligent. Why do they prefer going out alone instead of with friends? Why do they find noisy, bustling places meaningless? Studies show that highly intelligent people often spend less time socializing because they are busy contemplating their own thoughts and the meaningful aspects of life, setting personal goals. It's also found that intelligent people often lose their usual sense of joy after social gatherings. They prefer a practical life with substantive values over superficial external interactions. If you've ever felt lonely or troubled by the feeling of being alone, consider that it might actually be a blessing in disguise, giving you time to mature and think, to understand what you truly need and want. This understanding can lead you to make the most genuine moves in your life, achieving your goals. Everything has its balance and nothing is given without compensation. What you lack in one area, you gain in another. If you enjoy living alone, congratulations. Many people are lost, not knowing what they want, living aimless and meaningless lives. They cannot succeed or be as competent as you.
Hey everyone, your comments truly matter, offering insights and motivation to others and uplifting our creative team at Lighthouse of Wisdom channel. Sharing your thoughts and experiences enriches our community. So, let's get the conversation started below and help illuminate our path with your wisdom.
8. True strength begins with solitude. According to Zhuangzi, coming alone and going alone is the ultimate state of human life. People who reach this state are like unmatched masters, retreating to train and then becoming invincible. Being alone means gathering all your energy to conquer your flaws. It marks the start of a truly strong person. In the chapter Northern Expedition of Zhuangzi's writings, it says, "The vast and beautiful universe does not preach. The seasons follow clear laws, but do not debate. All things contain truth, but do not show off." Indeed, the universe and all within it hold profound truths, yet they remain silent and inactive, unlike restless minds that constantly chatter. In this world, no one can avoid solitude. Born alone, we die alone. Today we gather, tomorrow we part. No one can accompany us forever. Talking with others may relieve loneliness, but it doesn't cure it. The more you speak, the emptier you feel. When you stop talking, loneliness envelops you again. Sometimes, it's better to digest things on your own rather than sharing, which might turn into a joke. Don't waste the time you have to yourself. Only in silence and fearlessness can you truly understand how to change the world. Some say that only by traversing the empty Gobi Desert can one find a refreshing stream. Life is a long journey made alone. Idle talk is less valuable than keeping a calm mind. Being alone is about understanding yourself. Some say crowded gatherings are just places for many lonely people. The truly solitary are free. When alone, one can see their true self and unleash their inner spirit. Those who enjoy socializing are still searching, yet few find a true companion. Solitary people may seem indifferent, but in reality, they deeply understand themselves and befriend their own essence. Being alone also allows us to spend time on ourselves and do what we wish. Even when alone, we feel comfortable and free. Pleasantries often lead to a tired life. Bending to others only diminishes oneself. Life is precious, so don't let idle chatter waste your valuable time. True solitude means avoiding outside interference and maintaining a free spirit. Being alone is strengthening oneself. There's a saying, either be solitary or be mediocre. All self-reliant people must endure hardships alone. Don't fear tough situations, as anything that doesn't defeat you ultimately strengthens you. Every successful person has risen against the current, enduring hard times alone. Behind every moment of glory are pain and tears. Learn to endure solitude and turn it into a habit like an eagle, or herd with the crowd valuing safety. After a period of solitary refinement, one's soul can become steadfast and their wisdom enlightened. Then, their approach to tasks resembles military tactics, quick as the wind, steady as a mountain, aggressive as fire, immovable as a boulder, unpredictable as the night, and resounding as thunder. Those who walk their path alone are formidable individuals, and such a person rarely fails later in life. Being alone is the best way to strengthen oneself. Throughout history, wise and strong individuals have preferred solitude, and truly powerful people often walk alone. Being alone gives us time to reflect, distance ourselves from society's rush, and return to peace. Being alone makes us resilient, independent of others' strength and uninfluenced by their opinions. So, cherish your time alone, live true to yourself, and achieve your personal best in this limited time. 9. Living quietly. Most people who prefer a quiet life are actually very capable. Dear friends, when you're in a crowd, can you tell who stands out and who's just average? It's not always easy because the most influential people are often the quietest and hardest to spot. We often meet people who want to show off or speak arrogantly because they're afraid of not being noticed or appreciated for their actions. They tend to brag and exaggerate trivial matters, which can make others find them less than impressive. In reality, those who boast the most are often missing something internally, while truly capable individuals don't care about such displays and possess a rich and calm inner life. Quiet people prefer to listen more, blending into the crowd, knowing their limits, and understanding what they need to do to grow stronger each day. It's said, a true master does not show off their mastery. With a little observation, you can see the difference in these individuals. Some people might boast to friends about their skills and connections, but when these friends need help, they find them lacking, a result of being too loud about themselves, seeking praise and attention. In crowds, the quieter individuals often have the most to offer, leading more independent and capable lives. The less they speak, the more they show humility. Although they may not stand out externally, their inner strength and richness give the impression that they are not easy targets. Just a look from them can reveal their exceptional nature. In life, we often encounter those who never want to lose, even in the smallest matters. When faced with contrary opinions, they quickly voice their thoughts and dismiss others, only to be seen as less knowledgeable and capable. Ancient wisdom teaches us, among 3 companions there must be one who can teach us. Thus, It's important to respect and listen to others fully before responding. Quiet people may seem indifferent, but they're actually observing and contemplating deeply. While others might think they lack ambition, they're focusing on self-improvement and waiting for the right opportunity. Humble yet not timid, they decline unnecessary problems. It's often said, the more friends you have, the smoother your path in life. However, becoming friends has become essential, even with people we might not genuinely like, just because of mutual acquaintances. These friends often only share meals and fun, but when you really need help, they're nowhere to be found. If these are your only friends, it's truly pitiful. However, having many people around you can still feel very lonely. Truly influential people focus on the quality of their relationships, not the quantity. One or two true friends are enough. Unlike those who fear being alone, they enjoy the solitude that comes with age. As people age, they tend to prefer a quieter life, gaining wisdom and seeking peace, moving away from the impulsiveness of youth. Silence is an excellent way to maintain independence, allowing for deeper thought and greater confidence in facing societal challenges. It's the best time for internal dialogue, to understand oneself better, because only then can we truly excel in all we do. Even in favorable circumstances, don't overanalyze to the point of inaction. Keep a quiet corner in your mind to stay sharp and clear-headed. Overconfidence only attracts envy and unnecessary rivals. In adversity, the weak may perish, but the strong find their stride. Give yourself time to process issues. Don't shrink from problems, nor fall into laziness or despair. Face challenges courageously and find the best solutions, because a quiet life is an inevitable part of growth. Don't let wrong desires lead you astray. When alone, you can relax, feel content, and experience peace of mind. Live simply, and don't demand too much in a world where many are too busy to find peace. When unsettled, opportunities can seem daunting and isolating. This type of quietness shouldn't just be about enduring sadness or emptiness, but about securing a serene heart. Close your eyes and see a beautiful world of your own, not one clouded by mundane worries like bills or chores. In moments of meditation or yoga, let these practices clear the clouds of life, allowing your soul to travel and find peace, to connect with your heart and discover your true thoughts. Living slowly and with quality, those with a calm inner life are more likely to succeed, possessing resilience not easily swayed by external opinions. If troubled, regaining calm can significantly improve outcomes. Take a few moments to breathe deeply, reflect alone, and align your mind. This brief stillness can empower you, helping you see clearly and work effectively. No matter the difficulties, knowing how to calm your mind can help solve each problem one at a time, finding the best ways to alleviate burdens. Life is not easy. If you once thought the world was too beautiful, thank your parents for shielding you well. Now, as an adult, learn to live quietly on a challenging path. Only in peace can you maintain motivation and effort. Thus, do not let worries destroy you. Keeping a calm heart at all times is truly valuable. 10. Haste makes waste. To be fast, go slow. Modern life is full of hustle and rush, with everyone hoping to achieve great success with minimal effort in a short time. Although one can find some personal value in busyness and gain a little from it, this often leads to trouble because of short-sightedness. The spirit of the modern ailment, haste makes waste, highlights a common flaw in today's people: being too impatient. We are always racing against time, wanting to do everything quickly, as if a single second's delay could cost us our entire lives. As a result, we even rush through meals to avoid being late for work and speed up meetings to save time for overtime. Even leisure activities are rushed, leading to a superficial experience. In reality, by living in such a rush, we lose out on many good things in life. When life becomes a series of hurried moments, it gradually drifts away from us. It is essential not to blindly pursue speed and small gains at the expense of significant achievements. Historically, those who have accomplished great deeds have always maintained calmness in any situation, focusing on being careful rather than hasty. Particularly for successful men, major achievements often come slowly. Slowness here means stability, a sign of maturity in men who have a rich life experience and a solid, confident mindset enabling them to take on significant challenges. No one becomes successful overnight, especially not men of achievement. Their success is always built on persistent effort and step-by-step progress. As they say, persistence in modest tasks leads to long-term success, not immediate results. Success isn't achieved overnight, but through continuous effort and struggle over days, months, and years. Men of true success are invariably cautious. Society continuously evolves, and those who expect to rise overnight will likely not achieve lasting success. Only by maintaining a stable growth rate and continuously improving one's abilities can one build a solid foundation and stand firm. Successful men possess strong convictions, staying true to their beliefs and progressing patiently. In the world, nothing is achieved without effort. The future is built with our own hands. The path to success is neither easy nor smooth. For some, hardships lead to giving up and a life of poverty, while others rise from where they fall and continue on. Mature men have accumulated a wealth of experiences over the years, developing a stable and confident demeanor, and thereby the ability to undertake significant tasks. Success requires slow, steady steps and ongoing perseverance. No achievement happens by chance. It is always the result of meticulous accumulation over a long time. Important values and social connections need to be built gradually, from zero to something, from quantity to quality. When the right time comes, those who are prepared will shine in their respective fields. Jack London, the famous American novelist, started working multiple jobs from a young age due to his impoverished background. Despite the tough circumstances, he never gave up on his education and gradually built his literary foundation by making the most of every opportunity to read. His persistent accumulation of knowledge paid off, and he became a renowned novelist, widely acclaimed for works like Love of Life, praised by Vladimir Ilyich Lenin, and other works that significantly influenced American literature. Lu Xun, a prominent Chinese writer, said, "A part of labor yields a part of harvest. Miracles are created step by step, from little to much." Those who dream of quick riches will never sincerely improve themselves. Dreams are beautiful, but without corresponding capabilities, they are just illusions. The successful never give up. Without perseverance, there is no success. Everything requires deep exploration and study. Even a slight extra effort can significantly narrow the gap to success. Success is not easy. It requires relentless effort, and even in the face of the tiniest hope, one must never give up. Nothing is too difficult if the will is strong. Success always keeps its doors open for those who do not give up and continuously strive to learn and explore. A slow pace, calmness, and careful personal planning help individuals face problems without panic. The strategy of Zhuge Liang in the story also emphasizes this. Facing a massive army with just a few thousand men, he remained calm and devised a plan that led to victory without conflict, demonstrating that a calm and steady approach can quickly find solutions to even the most unexpected problems. Yu Min Hong, founder of New Oriental Education and Technology Group, said, "Don't rely on the concept of establish by 30. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Just live life slowly. At 30, I was still very poor, But by continually striving and persevering without giving up my goals, I eventually found success. Success is not imagined or spoken into existence. Those who do not strive will forever remain dreamers. When success comes, it will come slowly. The competitive pressure in today's society is immense. A truly successful person must live a rich life, putting in more effort than others and overcoming difficulties to stand firm at the top of the mountain, enjoying vistas not everyone can see. Success is not about a moment of enthusiasm. It is about effort and accumulation day by day, month by month, which ultimately turns the key to unlock the door of success. Life should not be about hoping to become wealthy overnight. Even if one achieves success, it remains hollow and will quickly crumble at the first sign of trouble. Everyone wants to be successful and have a great career, often envying those with successful lives at a young age, thinking it is easy. But only through the ups and downs of life can one realize that success is not straightforward. It comes only through hard work and continual accumulation. 11. The Art of Living Freely. Lessons from a Buddhist Monk. This is a story about a monk named Hiroshi who often found himself distracted by the actions and progress of other monks. We can learn a valuable lesson about focusing more on ourselves rather than others. Taking time for self-care not only prevents burnout but also brings more joy and satisfaction into our lives. Most importantly, we should understand that focusing on ourselves is not selfish. Long ago, in a Buddhist monastery nestled among rolling hills, there was a monk named Hiroshi. He was diligent in his practice and devoted to following Buddha's teachings. However, despite his efforts, Hiroshi frequently found himself distracted by the actions and progress of other monks. During meditation sessions, he would often glance at others to see if they were sitting straighter or meditating deeper than he was. He compared his progress to theirs, feeling envy and disappointment because he did not think he was advancing as quickly as he hoped. One day, after a particularly challenging meditation session, Hiroshi decided to seek guidance from the abbot, a compassionate monk who had spent decades on his spiritual journey. Hiroshi bowed respectfully to the abbot and shared his struggles. The abbot smiled gently, patted Hiroshi on the shoulder and said, "Dear friend, your difficulties are not uncommon. Many of us face similar challenges on our spiritual paths. Remember, each person's journey is unique and unfolds at its own pace. Comparing yourself to others only hinders your progress. Buddha taught us the importance of focusing inward and cultivating mindfulness. When you constantly look outward and measure yourself against others, you create unnecessary suffering and dissatisfaction." The abbot then shared a story with Hiroshi. In a dense forest, there were many types of flowers, each with its unique beauty and fragrance. The flowers did not compare themselves to each other, nor did they wish to be different from what they were. They simply bloomed, each according to its nature, contributing to the beauty of the forest. The abbot looked into Hiroshi's eyes and said, "Like the flowers, each individual has strengths and weaknesses, unique qualities and virtues. Your journey is a personal one, and the key is to focus on nurturing your inner garden instead of worrying about others' progress." Hiroshi listened intently, and his heart gradually became peaceful. The abbot continued, "Embrace mindfulness in every aspect of your life. When you meditate, be fully present in the moment, allowing your mind to settle naturally. When you perform daily tasks, do them with focus and care. This way, you will find a deep sense of satisfaction and peace, free from the burden of comparison." Over time, Hiroshi applied the abbot's advice diligently. He practiced mindfulness, focusing on his own journey without concerning himself with the progress of others. Gradually, he began to experience a deep sense of peace and self-acceptance. One day, during meditation, Hiroshi felt a profound inner change. He realized that comparing himself to others had been an unnecessary burden. In the silence of his heart, he embraced the wisdom of the abbot's teachings and understood that his progress was unique and perfectly suited to his spiritual growth. From that moment, Hiroshi became a symbol of inner peace and satisfaction, like the flowers in the forest, each petal reflecting his newfound wisdom. Thus, Hiroshi learned the priceless lesson of focusing on himself rather than others, and his spiritual journey flourished, becoming an inspiration to all who met him in the peaceful Buddhist monastery. From the Buddhist perspective, the notion of individuality is an illusion. One cannot separate oneself from the surrounding environment. When you focus on yourself, you improve your relationships with those around you. When you start taking care of yourself, you will see significant improvements in your health, mood, work, and whatever goals matter to you, whether you realize it initially or not. Literally, focusing on yourself revolves around practicing self-care, meeting your basic needs. Self-care allows you to focus your attention on yourself fundamentally. Each person has basic needs that play a crucial role in overall stability, including sleep, nutrition, physical activity, and relaxation. Ignoring these needs, you might not have enough time to regenerate energy from life's stresses. Initially, you may not notice much impact, but eventually, you might see some unwanted changes in your physical and mental health. To work on yourself, especially if you are busy or tend to put others first, you must practice being assertive. Some ways to do this include occasionally saying no instead of always saying yes, allowing specific situations where you will do something for others, and deciding when you might want to turn off your phone if necessary, and dedicate that time and effort to yourself. One of the best ways to become happier is to express gratitude. We feel better about ourselves and our lives when we are grateful for what we have. If you are grateful for your life, you will not focus on others and what they have. You must learn not to involve yourself in everything. Learn to put your emotions aside to focus on yourself. 12. The strength from solitude. It's perfectly normal to go through life without friends until the very end. Don't worry if you feel like you're drifting away from friends. It might just mean that you're no longer compatible. Some people believe there are two types of friends, those concerned with daily life and those concerned with the spirit. The first type expects a give-and-take relationship where favors are exchanged. As long as nothing extreme happens, these friendships can last, but they tend to fade if one person stops reciprocating. The second type, spiritual friends, are less about social status and more about soul connection. These relationships can last a long time, but not always. As we travel through life, our ideas and beliefs evolve, and friendships based on soul connections may drift apart if beliefs change. Most of us think we need many friends, but if there's no real value in a friendship, it won't last. The biggest challenge comes from within ourselves. When happiness comes, you are the happiest. When sorrow arrives, you are the most sorrowful. Mature, understanding people don't demand too much from their friends. They know the importance of relying on themselves and addressing their inner needs. Eventually, you'll realize that you are your own best support. Friends can help temporarily, but not forever. They might help with confusion, but can't soothe your inner pain. So why keep searching everywhere for comfort? No one will always be there to shelter you from storms. Why keep looking for someone to place your hopes on? Not all injustices are understood by others. If so, let it all out in tears, and then life continues beautifully. Not all burdens will cause others to feel for you. If that's the case, you don't always have to speak out. After difficulties pass, you grow. We are no longer children who need comforting when we fall. Stand up, dust yourself off, and keep going strong. We aren't elderly needing someone to care for us. Stand up, check on yourself, and get back to work. Don't try to find comfort in always sharing your troubles with others. No one can do what you must do yourself, nor should you complain constantly to feel lighter. The happiness you seek can't be given by anyone else. When alone, you must still live well and smile until the end. Facing hardships alone makes us stronger. After tears, your smile will shine brighter. In this vast world, there is no one exactly like you. In a society full of busy, exhausted people, no one can take on all your burdens. Without much money, you can earn it gradually. Without a car or home, keep striving and saving. If your job is dull, persist until the end. If a relationship feels cold, choose to let it go. Others don't live your life, don't feel your feelings, and don't know the challenges you face or the injustices you endure. Let tears clear it all away, rely on yourself, and move forward with a smile. Those who care may help once, but not for a lifetime. Women relying on themselves don't have to beg. Men relying on themselves don't weaken their will. Self-reliance allows us to truly smile and live beautifully. Each of us can be our own solid support. Enjoying solitude is a form of wisdom. Overcoming it makes you exceptional. Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi once said that being able to be alone is what makes someone truly exceptional and esteemed. Know that from childhood to adulthood, we've learned many lessons about how to interact with others and excel in society, but we often forget that our greatest enemy is ourselves. If one can conquer oneself and learn to live with oneself, they can conquer anything. The noise of solitude is inevitable. Many entrepreneurs admit that during their startups, they endured loneliness and failure for a long time, which only eased with a new success. Even then, as a successful entrepreneur, loneliness persists in different forms. In an interview with Insider, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, mentioned his own loneliness, confirming that it's a normal part of life for him, especially when focusing on projects like rockets, even alone without a dog for company. According to psychologists Satoshi Kanazawa from the London School of Economics and Norman Lee from the Singapore Management University, highly intelligent people tend to need less social interaction. Their brains function so uniquely that it becomes hard for them to connect with others, and when understanding fails, silence is often the best option. This is especially true for geniuses like Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein, who viewed social interaction as torture because they were content in their solitude. In Zhuangzi's writings, he described two fish stubbornly trying to wet each other in a drying pond, suggesting instead that they move to a broader water body for a new life. If you have the chance to travel with a fellow traveler, whether for a month, a year, or 10 years, it's fortunate. Ultimately, only you can complete your own journey. You must master your own life before you can live well. Albert Einstein also noted that those with great minds must face harsh criticism from those less gifted. A person with a dream, the capability to act on that dream, and the greatness to outperform others must inevitably become different. They step away from the majority who wallow daily in petty desires for fame, status, qualifications, women, or fine wine. The majority remain trapped in minor worries, fearing success as if it were a limited commodity to be fought over and conquered. Unlike them, those with outstanding intellects understand that being different means being alone but also free. Here, talent brings deserved prosperity. Great minds don't settle for the buzz of the crowd. They spend time innovating and creating breakthrough ideas, not wasting effort on explanations. They are accustomed to independent thinking, alone but invaluable. Their success comes from their own abilities, not from the opinions or eyes of the world. Those who post less on social media are actually more sober in life. Each talented individual must have the fortitude not to be easily blown away in this vast universe. When you know what you truly want and are firm in it, You won't be easily swayed by others' opinions, nor will you lose your way. Being supported is nice, but not being supported isn't an issue either. Ultimately, life is yours, like knowing whether you prefer drinking warm or cold water. In reality, those who often share moments of happiness may not necessarily be leading good lives, and those who don't share aren't necessarily struggling. To post or not is each person's choice, and there's no need to please or explain to anyone. If you see someone not sharing on social media for a long time, they may have their reasons. Outsiders really don't need to worry, as they likely have a clear plan for their future, focusing on what they want instead of trying to appear sociable or friendly online. When young, we crave recognition from the outside world and try our hardest to satisfy our vanity. But later, as we experience more, we mature and realize that the world is our own, independent of others. We don't need to become anyone to please or be liked by others. If you are genuinely kind and willing, people will naturally be drawn to you. 13. How to make the most of your alone time. Understand that growing up might distance you from people you once were close to, but it can also bring you closer to others who will grow with you. The time in between can be tough, but there's a lot to learn from being alone. There have been many times in my life when I felt lonely. Some of those moments were incredibly painful, others surprisingly enjoyable. Sometimes I even chose to live in solitude, which came easily to me as an introvert. But that was okay, because it also offered many opportunities for personal growth. In today's fast-paced world, with technology advancing rapidly, it's easy to stay connected at all times. However, every situation has its pros and cons. I've found that solitude can be extremely beneficial in many ways. It's often at night that I truly discover my life's purpose, where I am inspired to think creatively and interestingly. Many authors, artists, musicians, and philosophers believe that their best work was created during times of solitude. As Aldous Huxley once said, the more powerful and original a mind, the more it will incline towards the religion of solitude. We need time alone because it allows us deeper self-understanding and clarity on what's important. It lets us better acknowledge our feelings and desires without distractions. It provides space for quiet reflection and reassessment of our actions. It helps us recover and recharge in solitude. It enables us to tap into our intuition and learn to trust our decisions. This doesn't mean I advocate for complete isolation, which can be unhealthy if it's all the time. It's undeniable that for some, spending a whole day alone without social interactions can be dull. Why is that? Being constantly busy can also be a way to distract ourselves. When we're caught up in many activities, we have less time to confront our own thoughts and feelings. Many people fear loneliness because it's unfamiliar. They don't know what will happen when faced with their own thoughts and emotions. But avoiding loneliness means missing out on what it can offer. So, how do we shed the fear of being alone to embrace its possibilities? As a child, I loved spending time alone to draw, write, read, and explore the great outdoors. During my school years, I was busy chasing fun with friends, increasingly neglecting my personal time. When I graduated from college and entered the workforce, I barely knew who I was anymore. After some failures, I felt like I had hit rock bottom in my 20s. I moved back in with my parents, broke, jobless, and without pride, forced into solitude. I found myself alone during the darkest period of my life, and I thought depression was inevitable. Each morning, I would wake up and confine myself to my room. I had few friends in town since moving to London, but eventually, I didn't want to contact them anymore. It was just me and my cat, spending hours alone in my small, dark bedroom. I cried a lot and continued to isolate myself. I hated being alone, But deep down, I knew I needed solitude. My story about the loneliest time in my life isn't a pleasant one, but I realized it was a turning point. When my depression peaked, I wanted to end it all. But then a strength from somewhere urged me to listen to what solitude could offer to help me rediscover my true self. I decided to pull myself out of despair. During a meditation one night, I felt an unusual peace. I knew there was a way out of my sadness, that being alone could teach me more than any book could. I gathered the courage to step outside. I started noticing the liveliness of nature, the soothing sounds of the river, and the tangible beauty all around me. Even when living with family, there are times you can be alone. Here are 3 methods to make those moments more valuable. 1. Meditation. Meditation is an enriching experience that can improve your focus. Sitting in silence and stillness can also reduce stress, boost mental health, and enhance self-awareness. For me, meditation is an ongoing practice that, although not always consistent, deepens my connection with myself. 2. Journaling. Daily writing is a great way to enhance the value of your alone time. It offers deeper insights into yourself and fosters creativity because inspiration often arises in those quiet moments of reflection. Writing allows you to listen to the voice within and encourages you to question what you truly desire. 3. Connecting with nature. Walking in nature can soothe the soul and uplift your spirits. Much of my inner happiness depends on the time I spend outdoors alone. I find peace when walking through a forest or along a beach. When you're alone, I encourage you to do the following. Eliminate distractions. When you choose to spend time alone, truly commit to it. It's tempting to grab your phone and scroll through social media or watch YouTube videos, so discipline yourself to avoid distractions. Your alone time won't be valuable if you're just distracting yourself. Instead, dedicate this time to yourself and see what this space can teach you. Make it a priority. Everyone has time to devote to themselves. Even if you feel uncomfortable or shy about turning down a social invitation from someone, don't make excuses to avoid being alone. The more comfortable you are with spending that time doing things you love and reconnecting with yourself, the more connected you will feel to others. Self-love comes from solitude, and with this love, you can give more to the people you want to share it with. Try spending time alone. It might not feel comfortable at first, and you might look for ways to escape it, but spending time alone is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. There is much personal growth when you take the time to nurture the relationship you have with yourself. 14. Why is being alone necessary for personal growth? A strong mind leans towards solitude, said Aldous Huxley. In our endlessly connected world, it's tough to find moments to be truly ourselves. However, learning to be alone, even when we could choose company, is crucial. How can we grow if we don't connect with ourselves first? Being alone in an age of constant distraction can be unsettling, but if you get comfortable with solo time, you might enjoy it. Loneliness has long been praised by great thinkers and social leaders as a way to enhance personal growth. In today's digital world, it's more important than ever. Learning to detach from society and delve deeper into your own soul can boost your creativity, improve self-awareness, prevent burnout, and help you discover profound personal truths. If you're unsure how to enjoy solitude or see its benefits, aim for a better world, a place where you spend plenty of time allowing yourself to grow under the light of solitude. 1. Understand yourself. Whether you enjoy your alone time or have felt lonely for a long time, there are always hidden parts of your soul to explore. Allowing yourself complete personal time helps you understand your inner self and what excites you. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise when you're alone, and follow them on their winding, strange paths. Read a book, explore new worlds, and make new friends. Take an outdoor adventure, drive to a park and wander among the trees, appreciating the sunshine and the odd grace of being alive. Create art that has lingered in your mind for ages, even if you never intend to share it with the world. There's really no way to do solitude wrong, as long as you're deepening your self-understanding and not letting yourself get distracted by the moment or your thoughts. You're on your way to new heights. 2. Learning to live alone helps us connect with others. It sounds paradoxical, but it's true for all of us. Learning to be alone helps you connect more deeply with the people you care about in your life. Understanding yourself on a deeper level can help you see the threads that connect us all, the unity among us. Everyone needs personal time as well as connection. It's a balancing act, but when you balance it right, it becomes truly sophisticated. Not only that, spending time alone lets you appreciate the time you spend with others more. When you have that contrast, maintaining balance becomes much easier than if you'd spent your life only one way or the other. Many introverts need time to recharge between social events, and alone time is the perfect way to recharge and focus yourself for another big, tiring day. Even if you're an extrovert, alone time is essential to understand that not everyone thrives or gets energized by being around others. It doesn't matter what your personality type is. Time alone helps you better appreciate your peers and their quirks. 3. Pursue your passions. Solitude is the best time to focus on your passions and goals. Many people on their journey to maturity have mentioned feeling quite lonely while dedicating all their time to their objectives. Yes, balance is important, but spending solitary time pursuing your deepest and highest desires is absolutely crucial for personal growth. How else can you discover who you are if you don't spend your spare moments exploring all the different paths? Use some of your alone time to chase those dreams. Write down your goals and work towards them a little each day. At first, you might feel lonely, but once you gain momentum, you'll wonder why you didn't live this way before. During tough moments when being alone feels painful, remind yourself of where you're headed. Remind yourself that you're doing this with a purpose. Who knows? You might look back on these hard-working years from now with nostalgia and a lot of joy. No pursuit is greater than the pursuit of your own dreams, and alone time will help you achieve that goal. 4. Boost your creativity. Solitude often conjures images of mad artists and hermits living in caves. Throughout much of human history, those who wanted to be alone were either mystified or seen as social outcasts. But there's a valid reason that solitude is linked with creativity. Only when alone can we truly be ourselves and experiment with odd, trial ideas that we might not dare share with others around. Solitude frees us from the constraints of the world's opinions and allows us to focus on our own vision. Do you think Picasso or Van Gogh could have created their masterpieces without extensive time to experiment and play without worrying about others' thoughts? Our creativity blossoms when we give ourselves space to try new things, and solitude is the perfect time to throw our quirkiest and most outrageous ideas into the world. You never know when someone might latch onto them, or when a minor accident might turn from a mistake into an absolute masterpiece by a genius. There's nothing like spending a few hours alone, expressing the deepest and most hidden parts of yourself through art and creativity. Who knows what you might discover and which creations might inspire you to explore further. 5. Guard against burnout. One of the easiest ways to become exhausted and drained is to never allow yourself moments of solitude. There's a reason why celebrities, surrounded by entourages and paparazzi 24/7, often end up hospitalized for exhaustion. Similarly, For us everyday people, burnout can feel inevitable when you juggle work, family, and your personal passions. Without thoughtful alone time, you may find yourself wondering why you're tired every day. Even if it's just 10 or 15 minutes a day, take a little time for yourself. If that means locking yourself in the bathroom to escape family or your spouse, so be it. Bring a notebook and jot down your thoughts. Sketch quickly. Write down business ideas that have been swirling in your head. Put on headphones and listen to a great song. The way you choose to spend those moments alone doesn't matter. What's important is that they can significantly reduce your stress. Just a little time each day can help prevent burnout, along with maintaining a healthy diet, getting enough exercise, and sticking to a regular sleep schedule. You'll notice the difference that injecting a bit of energy into your soul can make. You might even find yourself extending those moments of solitude. After all, who can resist a bath and a good book after a long day of interacting and complying? 6. Discover inner truths about yourself. This may be the greatest benefit of solitude. When you spend ample time exploring yourself, pursuing personal growth, and chasing your wildest dreams, you're bound to learn a lot about who you are. Sometimes these deep truths are harsh, like realizing why you avoid alone time because you don't like yourself. But these truths can also be incredibly beautiful, such as discovering that you truly are worthy of love and capable of achieving anything you set your mind to if you just believe in yourself. No matter how well you think you know yourself, learning to be alone allows you to delve deeper into your own knowledge. Nothing affirms life and self-actualization more than those moments when truths about yourself flash across your mind like a shooting star. Solitude is never more valuable than in those moments. Embrace solitude and peace. Starting today. We all are at different points on the map of life, but there are some universal truths. Being alone is important for personal growth as well as fostering your creativity. It can help you uncover profound truths about yourself that you would never know if your life were filled with distractions. After all, as Jean-Paul Sartre said, if you are lonely when you're alone, you are in bad company. So, do yourself a favor and take a step towards solitude. Invest a bit of time in being with yourself today to allow you to grow into the brightest, best version of yourself. 15. Loneliness can boost creativity. A study from the University of Buffalo surveyed nearly 300 people who value privacy highly, asking why they prefer solitude and how they usually spend their alone time. Those who are shy or uncomfortable around others tend to use their private time less effectively. However, many people enjoy being alone simply because it gives them the opportunity to engage in creative pursuits that are not possible around others. The former group are described as crowd haters, while the latter are simply crowd avoidant, meaning they are still open but prefer solitude. Dr. Julie Bowker, the study's lead, mentioned, when people consider the downsides of withdrawing from social settings, they often recognize a developmental aspect as well. Crowd-hating behavior includes avoiding social interactions and may evolve into more concerning habits like lying and aggression. Parents, teachers, and developmental psychologists often look out for signs of crowd-hating behavior in children because it can signal a decline in life quality and lead to tense or failed relationships. Dr. Bowker also stated, shy and avoidant individuals may not enjoy or effectively use their alone time, possibly because they are distracted by negative perceptions and anxieties. Bowker mentioned, they might get just enough peer interaction that, when alone, they can appreciate that solitude. On the other hand, those who are crowd avoidant can think creatively and develop new ideas, like an artist in a studio or a writer in their office. Recent psychological studies have suggested that the constant pull of social media can truly be detrimental to mental health. Psychologists have found that a suitable amount of alone time can be beneficial in the long run, reducing the risk of depression and increasing empathy. The study indicates that intentional periods of solitude are more beneficial for thinking and creative activities. Creativity reduces stress by helping us reach a flow state, where the brain operates at optimal efficiency and releases dopamine to reward us for both creating and solving problems during this process. Reducing stress has also been proven to potentially improve heart health and decrease the risk of cognitive decline. While many studies have emphasized that social interaction plays a central role in both mental and physical health, a crowded room is not the most conducive environment for creative activities.
Hey everyone, your comments truly matter, offering insights and motivation to others and uplifting our creative team at Lighthouse of Wisdom channel. Sharing your thoughts and experiences enriches our community. So, let's get the conversation started below and help illuminate our path with your wisdom.